Right now at 4:30, disorder in the village of Dolton that we've been covering for months is now impacting other suburbs where Mayor Tiffany Henyard also has a leadership role. Henyard is also the supervisor of Thornton Township, which includes a total of 17 towns.
Elected officials are speaking out about budgets, federal probes, and financial records. Regina Waldrop is in Markham with more on that story.
You guys have been led astray. You have been bamboozled. You have been hooded.
If you know anything about Tiffany Teflon Tahoe, the Super City Girl mayor, she's been trying to convince residents for over a year that they're being hoodwinked and bamboozled, they're being led astray.
It's a shame that people are so brainwashed, hoodwinked, and led astray.
And she's been saying, oh, it's not her, she's done nothing wrong, all while stealing money, running up the budget, then locking everybody out of the finances, refusing to produce receipts and reports, misusing their money for trips, Range Rovers, BMWs, houses, food, red bottoms. All of this in Dolton, where she's earning about $50,000 per year, and her second position over in Thornton Township, where she's earning about $225,000, $250,000 a year. Then she's co-mingling funds from both governments.
Mayor Henyard goes to Washington, but sends the bill to the wrong taxpayers.
Hey guys, this is Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the People's Mayor, and I am in the White House.
It's mid-January, and Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is getting a tour of the White House, part of the U.S. Conference of Mayors annual meeting in Washington, D.C.
It's gonna just be dope. But I'm just turning around so you can see. Got a group of people. Gonna go in some rooms and yeah. Oh my God.
And even a photo op with the president himself. But there's a big problem with who paid for Henyard to be here.
These appropriations are misappropriations.
We showed credit card statements for the trip to veteran municipal lawyer Bert Odelson, who represents Dolton trustees opposed to Henyard.
Every time I say I can't believe that she would do something, here comes another.
We found more than $9,000 in charges for the U.S. Conference Mayors meeting, including conference fees, flights to Washington, D.C., hotel rooms that were all charged to a credit card belonging to Thornton Township, a completely separate unit of government where Henyard serves as supervisor.
There's no reason for anyone from a township to go to a mayor's conference. A mayor's conference is a mayor's conference for mayors.
The level of corruption here is crazy. The problem really isn't her $300,000 combined salary from both positions that she shouldn't have anyway. The problem really is her greed, because she's the one who's actually attempting to bamboozle the residents and misuse millions of dollars while sabotaging other business owners and residents who won't support her in her extortion attempts to gain more wealth for herself and all the other criminals around her. Not only is she using Dolton money to pay for her weaves and hairstylists, but she's also paying a makeup artist too. Not from her own money, her own salary, but from the people's money. Then she tried to take shots at another mayor in the last Thornton meeting, so now he's clapping back too. We're going to get into all of this, but first, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates. Won't waste any time, let's go ahead and jump into it.
Dolton, not the only community concerned about self-titled super mayor Tiffany Henyard.
If she speaks out loud one more time, you remove her.
The mayor of Markham questioning her decisions and her leadership. Henyard has dual roles, mayor and Thornton Township supervisor.
I'm standing with the full force of this government here, and I don't see that happening in Thornton Township. I don't see it happening in Dolton either.
17 communities make up Thornton Township, representing more than 158,000 people. And this township, also a taxing body.
Right now, the township is without a budget. It was to be approved May 31st, but was tabled.
That budget needs to be looked into much deeper.
Aldermen say they are being inundated with calls from taxpayers.
I hear it every day. There is no transparency within our township.
Henyard is at the center of a wide-ranging federal investigation and a number of lawsuits.
You know, at some point, there needs to be some oversight, and someone has to get to the bottom of what and why these things are happening.
Questions are also being raised about Henyard using taxpayer dollars for personal expenses, including her makeup artist. This itemized payroll sheet for the township from May of last year lists Brandon Moman as an administrative assistant. But when we reached out to him, he told us he's Henyard's makeup artist.
Wait a damn minute. Wait a
understand.
Look at this. This man is a wardrobe stylist and a makeup artist. She's been paying him to do her makeup. All of these payments made using taxpayers' money. And she listed her makeup artist as an administrative assistant. This is the slick stuff she's been pulling along with Keith Freeman and all the people around her, the assistant Carmen, all of them. This is exactly why she's hiding all of the receipts. We're quickly approaching a year since she locked the Dolton trustees out of the finances, so they don't know what's going on. They just know that when she came into Dolton, she had a surplus of over $2 million, and by September of last year, she had a deficit of nearly $7 million. This is how that's happening though. It's personal purchases and expenses just like this that's been charged to government accounts. $1,500 here, $1,500 there. These records are from last year. This man was paid $1,500 at least twice per month as her makeup artist.
Whatever, I do what I want.
Super Mayor! Hey, Tiffany Henyard.
Chris Gonzalez is a Thornton Township trustee.
Just, once again, a long series, unfortunately, of things that just seem to be done incorrectly or possibly illegally.
We reached out to Henyard's administration for comment, but didn't hear back. Today, Governor Pritzker shared his thoughts on Tiffany Henyard and whether the state should step in.
There is an investigation that's been called for, and now I know there was a veto that was overridden that will now allow that investigation to go forward.
And where have you been all this time, Governor Pretzel Nibbler? He's been down there at Auntie Annie's inhaling all the cinnamon sugar pretzels, acting like he didn't hear all the calls for help from the residents of Dolton. He's no different from Kwame Do-Nothing Raoul and Kim Fox. They're all criminals, just like Tiffany. So of course none of them wanted to investigate her. But anyway, here's what Governor Pretzel Nibbler had to say.
Governor, are you monitoring what's going on in Dolton and Thornton Township and leadership there? Are you concerned? Taxpayers seem very worried. There's chaos at meetings. What can be done? Could you play a role in stepping in some way? What's your take on the situation?
So I've looked at that question, whether the state should and can play a role. The federal authorities, as you may know, are involved and investigating. I've read that. I think that's a public piece of information. There is an investigation that's been called for, and now I know there was a veto that was overridden that will now allow that investigation to go forward with former Mayor Lori Lightfoot in charge of that. I think that those are two pretty good authorities for looking into this, investigating it, and getting to the truth. We'll support them. Well, we looked at whether we ought to put resources, whether it's state police and their anti-corruption efforts, or asking the Attorney General. The reality is that there are already two pretty significant investigations going on, and so we'll support them in every way that we can. But it's really just a matter of, do you want everybody running over each other in those investigations, or do you want two concerted efforts toward getting the facts?
Yeah, y'all didn't do anything even before the FBI got involved. Like, bye. I don't want to hear it. It's the reason why he didn't want to go after Tiffany Tahoe and allowed all this to go down. Don't come around now talking about cooperating when you've done nothing to save the people from this tyranny. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. What do you think about the mayor of Markham speaking out against Tiffany? By the way, that wasn't the mayor's first time. He came out a couple of months ago too, but it was the governor's first time even acknowledging publicly in the media that something was going on. What are your thoughts on the governor? And then Tiffany using taxpayers to keep her makeup done for all the meetings and her appearances. Tell me what you think about that too. Big shout out to L. Smith. I appreciate you, L. Smith, for all of your support. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.